never gonna shy away from the fact that that I create, you always want to, be respected on it. But I don't expect everybody to love it. I'm not naive to the fact that I don't expect everybody to love everything I create. But when you're trolling just to troll, it just becomes just annoying. But it's not that I'm offended by it. Like, you going through looking at views and doing all this, but in comparison, like, you got 8 times more videos than me and 8 times less plays than me. But I don't care about that. I'm not.
So you're more mad about the lies?
Yeah, I think it's just the bull. And then like let's go ahead and let's just go ahead and knock it out the way, because at the end of Cryptic's video, this whole Heather narrative, like, everybody's been beating it to a dead horse and to a dead pulp, unequivocally, where the camera is. There's never been a past relationship with me and Heather, ever. We were solely friends. Anything that anybody has heard from the past or seen a tweet or whatever everybody's trolling and saying, it was all funny games and jokes, never from back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of those things where it's like, when it was asked on Community, it's one of those things where, like almost like a PR thing. You don't feed into shit, because no matter what I say, it's going to be dissected as, oh, he was too aggressive with denying something, so we don't believe it. Or, oh, he didn't want to talk about it, so it must be true. And no matter what I did, I was going to be for a loss. So my biggest thing was, just like in celebrity in the world, when there's stupid rumors come out, you don't even address it. You don't even talk about it, because for what? No matter what I say, you're gonna dive in and try to dissect it when it's obviously false. We all now, everybody knows what's going on. It's obviously false, but I don't need to send that out to the world. So for the last time, it's false. Like, let's dead that. But in addition to that, like, even with going to back on Fig, like, I felt I would have been in the trap. Like, I feel like that could have possibly been a trap for me. You know what I'm saying?
This Friday?
Huh?
Last Friday?
Well, after I seen it, I don't know, it might have been different if I was there, but it was like, damn, I wouldn't have been able to get nothing off. You know what I'm saying? In that room at that time, you know what I'm saying, it's definitely gonna be no talking to smack. And then, you know what I'm saying, I could get the dialogue off with T-Rail, but then Heather's just been going on this tangent that, like, I don't know where that's coming from. Like, I've known her longer than anybody, and I would never expect to be, like, constantly thrown under the bus by her for whatever reason, or just going along with all these narratives as if they're accurate. Like being 100, like, let's be 100. Like, I didn't follow anybody anywhere. I moved to LA on my own. I saved up my own $40,000 from working at Verizon and moved to LA with no help. I didn't ask nobody for a dime, when nobody for nothing. I didn't follow nobody. I wasn't paying attention to nobody. When I got to LA, I was doing shit on my own. I wasn't even in communication with Heather like that. Not on no weird shit, but it was just like, I wasn't moving to LA and trying to just hit up everybody I knew. So,
but that wouldn't, I don't see nothing wrong with that either, though. Like if you got a rapport with people, I don't see it's an issue.
I want to dead that, because
the following Heather, the LA shit.
I had motion.
Okay.
Like this is it, with all due respect, because like I have a love for Heather, a strong friendship love for Heather, because of how long we've known each other, and knowing her family and etc., and being invited over for family events and holidays and stuff, like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't mean it in a bad way, but like, this narrative that like I followed you is insane, because I had motion before I even met you. Like, I moved to Texas to sign a record deal before I even knew, before we even communicated or had mutual friends. Like, I was already booming at 18, whether people want to believe it or not. At that time frame, we signing a record deal with Sony, Clover.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Was a major thing. Coming from Rockford, Illinois, like, that was unheard of. So I had motion. I was already in the mix in the studio with YM and doing all kinds of at that time when I introduced her to that side of things. Like, to my homies. Like, the reason why she even made music was because of me. I was already making music. She was a friend around and thought it was cool, and I was like, I'll write a verse for you. Like, record it, let's record it. I got you. Like, you introduced to this world, people saying you should rap. There's no female rappers out other than Nicki Minaj, and we around YM. So it's like, start rapping.
Who knows?
I'll write the verse for you.
You gave her the name Hot Yella?
No, I don't think I gave her that name, but I think I told her you had to emphasize that was gonna be your artist name. That was the only thing I can contribute to. I don't know if that's where it came from. But her verse and starting it off saying Hot Yella and all that, that's all me. I wrote that. Both of the time, any verse she wrote or rapped on, I wrote it. You know what I'm saying? So like this whole narrative that I followed you and I wasn't doing nothing, and I seen you was doing it big, and I wanted to like follow the coattail, like that's crazy. Like we gotta dead that. Like we can go back, the history is there. The history is there. Like if we met in whatever 2008, I was already doing shit from 2006. Like I didn't follow anybody anywhere. And when I left Dallas, I went to Houston first for 2 years before the album. So when I went out there to Houston, that's before I even went to LA. So I was already making moves. So let's just dead that. That's not accurate. Like, and that's what I'm saying about the shit with Cryptic. You're putting these things at the end of the video. You're supposed to be FMW, right? You're supposed to be the FMW Cryptic page. Why are we putting narratives at the end of the video that are bullshit because you think it's funny or it's cool or you're running out of content that's pushing a false narrative on the people that you fuck with? You fuck with Heather and Terrell, right? So why are you doing that?
He didn't hear it like this.
But even if you hear it or not, the same thing with pun. There's certain things you just don't say. Like,
no, I mean, then there's certain things you do say. That's
if
the
you're
argument.
pro FMW and I'm around this thing, whether you like it or not, you don't throw shade and salt on people that can damage that person and the people around you.
Exactly, right?
That's why I posted the Bugs Bunny Elmer Fudd thing, because that's the perfect example.
Hey, you know what's funny?
He set it up for everybody else to get these shots because you're doing it.
Nah, that's
you're FMW.
This is my argument. When we started this podcast today. My argument will be, once you seen that salt get thrown, you could have been a shade in and said no, just deaded it. Instead of thinking like, nah, I'm gonna play the role.
Speaking your mic, King.
I say nothing, even though on sometimes, yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Then sometimes it don't.
Yeah, but
depends on
you
how
can't.
the crowd is.
You can't make.
You gotta be aware of that too. I'm just saying, I'm not.
You're right. You're right. But you of all people know you can't make everybody happy, King. So no matter what I would have done, excuse me, no matter what I would have said in any circumstance, it would have been ran with. But I never even spoke on the whole, excuse me, follow shit. But that's been this running ongoing joke is like, I followed you, and that's unequivocally false as well. Like, what are we talking about?
Unequivocally.
I got like a little volatile relationship, but you know, hey, listen.
But I promise it's all up. I would never shit on anyone. Like,
I don't even want to move, me personally, we don't got to move forward talking about her. So you said y'all, and it was nothing, right?
Yeah, no, I'm not shitting on her. I'm just correcting the narrative. I'm correcting the narrative. I have a very good memory, very vivid memory. I lived a hell of a life, and I remember a lot of what went on in the time frames. And that's factual information.
I'll ask it. You got a question to ask me?
Been a lot. Mac has just been sitting back, absorbing. But see, this is why
you got to learn how to listen.
You open the door for me.
I'm just listening right now.
I've been able to talk like this yesterday, and that's no disrespect to them because they know I love them. You know what I'm saying? Like love them. You know what I'm saying? Like have businesses together, broke bread together, eat holidays together. You know what I'm saying? Meet mutual families, birthdays. You know what I'm saying? Like love them, but I wouldn't have been able to get this off the same way over there. There'd been a lot of interrupting and trying to tell me what I was meaning and what I was saying and what it meant and trying to talk over Smack and loud and you know what I'm saying?
Keep your mouth shut, Smack.
I wouldn't have been able to get that off. You see, Smack always finds some way to. The same thing I've been saying, and people think it's always me. Oh, he reported it. He a liar. How you automatically believe it just because you see some shit? You know, no context to it, dog. And then you hype everybody else up to go along with you. That's weird.
Yeah, get it together, Smack.
Nigga, I'm around. If you don't like it, then you don't like it. If not, then if I get kicked off and voted off the island, and then at that point it's different. But if I'm here, nigga, like fucking embrace it. This ain't 20v1. What are we doing?
Oh, look at this nigga.
My nigga,
this is second.
This shit getting old.
The second his Drake bar he dropped up in this
motherfucker. You want that shit getting old, and anybody who disagree with me know they full of shit.